the Department of Social Development, and
Yes.
also maybe even the Department of Justice
Yes.
to see if
Correct.
maybe we can get a budget for that, to be like, look, there is no institution dealing with this. We found someone who's put their hand up. We just need support where we can. It doesn't even have to be financial all the time. I know government sometimes will tell you about budgets, just facilities.
Yeah.
And then anyone else who wants to join you, you're open to that.
Yeah, look, to answer your question, no, there isn't a single entity or person or individual right now that's saying, oh, you've been doing this for 2 years now on your own, let's help you. No, there isn't an institution like that. I actually I don't mind it, because working with stakeholders is a compliance nightmare. People are just not as clean as they're supposed to be. So the last thing I want is to say, basically, I'm saying here, we have an issue in South Africa. We have a family home problem. We know the history. I've gone through it over and over again, where these family homes come from. I'm now saying in the atmosphere and space of 2024, where this Dlamini case was the judgment came out. The problem now is that people are having those kind of problems and all other problems, which we'll understand at a later point. And they're having it regularly, and it's an everyday problem. And when I look just from a data point and from my own experience, there isn't a solution. I did that video when we had the sit down with Nhlanhla, where I said, currently in South Africa, as long as the estates are out of the hands of the banks, no one else administers them. And then I saw a lot of people come out, oh no, why do you think you can speak on behalf of legal aid? But legal aid is not administering estates. It's a fact. And then the other one said, there are pro bono institutions with the Legal Practitioners Council. The problem with that is, firstly, there's an 18-month waiting list. Umuntu, if a person is crying today on Monday, 18 months is very far for the problem that they are facing, number one. Number two, that pro bono, when you administer an estate, which are the costs we're about to go through now, there's several costs. Whichever attorney that is given that estate, they tell the heirs they must still pay for the disbursement costs. These are the costs of the sheriff. These are the costs of the master's office. These are the costs to transfer the property. You must pay your rates clearance. If your house owes for water and electricity, you must pay it. So what is the point of that pro bono? Because it doesn't dish out money for the expenses. So therefore, effectively speaking, they are not being administered. So I'm saying this is a problem. And because of this problem, people are now fighting in these homes, and they're fighting viciously. At some point, a lot of them are becoming homeless. A lot of them are getting evicted because of the whole will and transfer of ownership to one member of the family. And so I'm now saying there is a missing collaboration here between 3 government departments. Department of Home Affairs, because the Department of Home Affairs identifies and authenticates each heir and person that is related to the house, the family home, and the estate. The Department of Justice, the Master's Office, there is a huge role, because you can only administer an estate at the Master's Office, and the Deeds Office, whichever department the Deeds Office falls under. I know it's regulated by the Deeds Registry Act. Those 3, because the Deeds Office deals with the actual transfer of the family home. These are where the expenses are. So if we have a pro bono department or a budget allocation for the family home or community people who don't have these expenses, it has to come from these 3 departments for it to work effectively and for it to minimize the fraud element. Remember, I mentioned, once a gogo has sat in a house for over 10 years and she has not administered her husband's estate, therefore the house is still being owned by the deceased husband, that's where the fraud starts happening, because this house is most owned by a dead person for 10 years. So the family is clearly not interested. And then there's documents that come up, and then the transfer happens, and then the gogo ends up being evicted. So this is something that needs to happen. If it doesn't happen, all that's going to happen is I'm going to keep giving people advice on the phone, ineffective advice, because it all leads to the fact that there is no money for them to administer these estates. This is why it's important for us to go over the costs.
Thank you. I was worried about you.
I'm
worried
okay.
about you.
I've got you.
We don't know about that. I mean, I'm not trying to save anybody.
Like, yeah. Are you still swimming there, or are you drowning?
You're open to getting help, and you're open to the departments that you've listed contacting you, because the last thing we want is someone who's taken on a fight, we lose you.
Yes.
And by lose you, I'm not talking like the most extreme
Of course,
losing you.
yeah,
I just
that's
mean you're
true.
like, you know what, I'm tired.
Yeah, I can't.
Therapy is draining
I'm gonna
me.
go back
I've
to
been
work.
crying. I'm depressed. Let me actually just go work.
Yeah.
Someone else can go
Take care of
fight
my
this,
kids.
but I won't. And then we lose you because people weren't coming to assist.
Yeah.
And it's like, but you didn't help me. Yeah, and you're like, but I was on all these platforms. You guys heard me speak about
Yeah.
how difficult this is and what it's doing. And all of you were just sending your family members to me. Kodwa nani
Yeah.
nifundile, nani
Yes,
nemali.
you're all
But
professionals.
nonke nibathumela kimi as this superwoman. I don't know where I'm supposed to do all this stuff. Come help me. You're also a lawyer. Maybe you're an accountant. Maybe you guys run a non-profit organization. Maybe you've got a company that can fund. Maybe you can just come and help with admin on weekends to say, my family struggled. So I'm going to donate in the year. I'm going to give you 5 days.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make money on those days. And I'm just going to come and help in whatever way. And we now have this team helping imndeni yabantu to be like, guys, sizonisiza ngoba manje niyathakathana niyabulalana over imizi yagogo nomkhulu, where we can actually help solve these things. So angithi nasifundisa sesifundile sicela ukunisiza ke.
100%.
Okay.
No, yeah.